Hey, welcome to Sports and Politics with T. I'm your host, Tanya. Tonight we have made it back to Monday, guys. Listen, I hope everybody's enjoying their weekend so far. We have made it already to the month of September. Let's give it up, guys. Yes, we've made it. It is Labor Day, and you know what? I know people are enjoying their weekend. And if you have to work today, listen, I hope you're enjoying your day in general, okay? Because I realize not everybody is off. But the people who are off, listen, I hope everybody's enjoying. And this marks the last day of the holiday for the summer months, guys. So, yes, listen, it is more of a bittersweet because everybody enjoys the spring and the summer. But you know what? That's okay because we're going to have an awesome fall and winter too, okay? And you know what? Tonight, let's talk about we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about a lot of things that has been going on in the Trump administration. Some things that have we talked about in the past, but we didn't really get deep into it. And so tonight we're going to talk about what Trump has proposed as far as Section 8 and the SNAP benefits and EBT. Some changes have been implemented. A lot of people are upset and outraged about some of the changes that have taken place. And also, later on in the show, we are also going to take a look at Donald Trump's health scare because it looks like a lot of people are taking notice of some changes, some things that have been going on with Donald Trump, some things that I hadn't really paid attention to, but now I am starting to see some signs of things that don't look good. And so we're going to talk about that at the end of the show as far as Trump's health and where he stands as of today, okay? But let's go ahead and get started with the first topic at hand. This is Corey Holcomb, okay? He's a comedian, and we're going to talk about the meltdown, what people are feeling as far as EBT. He has proposed now that with EBT, that certain states have signed up. I think it's 12 states now, and it could be more. That more and more states are pushing towards people who are receiving these benefits. They can no longer buy snacks. They can no longer buy junk food or things that will help contribute to the family household. So let's listen in on this segment. I'm going to break this video down once it's over, and I'm going to let you know my 2 cents as far as how I feel about this situation with the EBT and the food stamp phenomenon.
Back on you because they have people in place government-wise to show you we used you to destroy the village.
6 more states have had waivers approved to ban junk food from being bought with EBT. Let's talk about it. I have processed hundreds of SNAP cases, and here's an update on the state's push to ban junk food from being bought with EBT. So, as of August of 2025, there are now 12 states instead of 6 that have approved waivers for banning the purchase of junk food with EBT. Those states are Arkansas, Colorado, Florida, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Louisiana, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Texas, Utah, and West Virginia. So because each state had to submit their waiver to the USDA separately, each one of the bans are slightly different.
So just those two? Oh, what's that one? Oh, they didn't say this one? That's a deal. What is it? Oh my God, that's crazy. Not even the juice? The juice, yeah. No.
They didn't take the juice for real? When they started that, it must be this way.
You didn't use it? Really? Yeah. They used to like see everything should. They got 67 people.
So what's the rest?
No, they didn't take the Reese's. You just trying to take the Reese's. They ain't taking the juice. Y'all take the juices on. The green juice.
No.
Your Reese's, they didn't take the Reese's. Food stamp is open right now. They don't even take it.
Look, it's too young. Maybe made to cut the light on. No, it's okay. Come on. Let's get the stuff. Come on.
So y'all mean to tell me I can't buy no snacks off my EBT card? I'm in here shopping, trying to get all my good snacks, and see this, all that. Going straight to the buggy with me. All those nice good snacks.
Hey, North Carolina homeowners, if your AC unit is more than 5 years old, you could have.
And y'all, for me to get to the register, they couldn't find out I can't buy no more snacks on my EBT card.
I'm irritated. I woke up and now my EBT cannot purchase me no soda, no candy, no chip, no ice cream, no dessert, no nothing. And it's not even really about me because I'm fortunate enough that if push comes to shove, I don't have to use the EBT.
But ma'am, it's not like EBT was telling you couldn't get some food that was absolutely suitable for human consumption, that wasn't going to add to the underlying health conditions that are plaguing the community and communities like ours throughout the United States of America. What EBT is telling you in these states that are affected by this new policy is that you need to eat some food with some nutritional value to it. That means that your snacks, your little Debbies, your soda, all of that stuff just might not make it this time. And you might have to go deep down in your pocket to get the stuff that's going to make you sick and not depend on the taxpayers' money to fund it. And there's going to be a whole lot of people talking about people should be able to buy whatever they want, eat whatever they want. Well, I agree with you. From their own pocket and not off the taxpayers' dime. Get some every time.
Other states on the list: Florida, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Utah, and West Virginia will go into effect on January 1st, 2026. So as of now, there are only 12 states, but I absolutely believe that more states will follow suit and submit waivers to the USDA to do the same thing.
Okay, girl, it's your girl Quay. And yeah, let's put these pieces of bread. We're gonna put some buttermilk waffles, some French toast sticks, blueberry waffles, and I'm gonna do some Roger Wood sausage. So yeah.
Well, it's the 17th again. That's food stamp day for me. Placed my food delivery order last night, so it got here today at 11 o'clock. This time I got 90 items for $492. I made a video like this last time. All y'all was worried about was if I had stairs, if I tipped. Second of all, I did not tip. That's what y'all want me to say. That's what I'm going to say. Like, use y'all common sense when y'all be saying stuff in the comments. I don't think about y'all paying the taxes on these food stamps for me to be able to get them. I don't give a damn. And y'all be like, as long as the kids eat, exactly. So I'm feeding these kids with them food stamps that y'all using to spend y'all taxes or whatever y'all want to call it. I said most of y'all was mad in my last post. That's exactly what the y'all be. Y'all be mad as hell. Anyways, y'all, this is my first order. I gotta make another order, but I'm gonna make it within a couple weeks because my freezer is going to be full. One thing I need to invest in is a deep freezer because then I would have so much freaking room. I feel like if I was to have all that food up in here, I would just want to make food just because. If you know, you know. Y'all know when kids see, they all of a sudden want to eat everything. At least my kids be doing that shit. As soon as I brought the food in, here he go. Can he have some?
The EBT. It's not even in my name. It's not my EBT, bro. I don't make enough that I can afford my groceries, but I make enough that if I gotta eat, then I can eat. But I'm thinking about people who don't even live within 5 miles of a grocery store. People who go and do their grocery shopping at the corner store because that's what's closest to them. And there's nothing for another 10, 15, 20 miles. And nobody has a car. Everybody has to take the bus. So you can only go to where the bus takes you.
Hold on, wait. It's
Well, actually, let me chime in for just a second. And let me tell you something. Now, you remember when I said probably about 2 months ago, we talked about the EBT and the food stamp phenomenon of as far as, you know, the changes that's going to be taking place and how Donald Trump is going to get rid of a lot of stuff. Now, this is my thing, and this is just how I feel about it. Now, you see, some of the EBT recipients are bragging, okay? They are gloating that they are receiving this food. It's not coming from a place of humility. It's not coming from a place of, you know, I'm doing my best or I'm working and I still am struggling. No, this is, look at me and look at you. Now, this is the thing. Okay, yes, this is coming from tax dollars. This is coming from people who are working to help families, such as these families, to get the snacks and food for these families. And my thing is this. You know, you got people that are working that can barely afford groceries, okay? And they put in the work. They put in the hours. They put in the blood, sweat, and tears, the time to provide for their families. Now, I have made it very, very clear. If you are able, and that's the key word, if you are able-bodied, then you should try to strive to do your very best to not depend on the government for anything. Okay? That's just how I feel about it. Now, if you're striving and you still don't have enough, that's one thing. But if you're not even trying to do your best to better your life, to just stay on the system just because you feel like you should, then that to me is the wrong mindset, okay? And I may lose a few people by saying that, but I really do feel that this is damaging you and it's damaging your kids too, because all they see is you're receiving the benefits and no, I don't have to work. I don't have to do anything. I can just be home and the government is going to take care of me or my family. And that to me sets the wrong precedent. Like I said, it's one thing if you're putting in the time, you're putting in the work, you're doing what you can to help your family and you still don't have enough and you need the assistance. That's one thing because you are still trying to work and better yourself. Or you're putting in the work and you're just coming up short, okay? Yes, in that situation, yes, I think that you deserve those benefits. But when you see things like this, where people are literally mocking, they are coming from a place of they don't care. Look at me and look at you. You're just mad because I'm getting snacks for my kids and you're not. That's not good, okay? And not only that, if you are able to work, then you should, okay? Because what happens is with benefits like this, it messes it up for people who really, really need the help, okay? The people that can't work, people who are on disability, people who have a health problem or a mental illness or something going on, they can't work, okay? Like I said, if you're able to, then you should strive to try to better your life where you're not able, so that you don't have to depend on the government for these benefits, okay? All right, so that's my thing about it. Now let's listen in on the Section 8 crisis. They have proposed, or at least Donald Trump is proposing now with Section 8, that you can only be on Section 8 for 2 years. Oh yes, 2 years is the max. Yes, 2 years. And you know why? Because there have been people that's been on there for years and years and years. And again, they have no, how can I say, they don't want to come off of it. Okay. Let's listen in on this segment. We're going to break this video down once it's over as well. And again, I'm going to let you know how I feel about the Section 8's new ruling as far as the time frame that you can be on it and what this means for millions of Americans.
Proposing a 2-year time limit, and there's no more Section 8.
My landlord just showed up to our house, our trailer, okay, and told me that we have 24 hours to move. 24 hours, not even 24 hours. She's giving me till 4 o'clock tomorrow to be out. Me and my 6 kids, because Section 8 didn't pay our rent this month.
So guess what? We gonna be the ones walking around in the grocery store with the big baskets, cause we deserve it. All these years, they've been letting people with no job. They walking around with 2-3 baskets full of groceries, and us hard-working people, we got a little handheld basket with 2-3 items in there, cause that's all we have left out of our check. And they sitting around getting fat food, eating lobsters and shrimp and crabs and all this other good food, and we can't even eat that. And we the ones going to work.
My goodness, it is about time that they are getting rid of food stamps, get rid of Section 8, get rid of EBT cards, get rid of child support, get rid of it all. All of it needs to go. It's about time we stop handing all these women all this free money. Send their ass to work.
What makes you think that people who get Section 8 and food stamps right now don't already work? And why they gotta be lazy? That's not true. That is definitely not always the case.
I don't understand, why do people get off on seeing other people miserable or their lives kind of like falling apart a little bit?
We've been hearing a whole lot about cuts to food stamps and cuts to Medicaid. We are all thinking about the people that receive the benefits, but nobody is talking about the hospitals, the doctors, and the grocery stores that receive their share of over $900 billion in revenue from these programs.
Look, the structure motorized pergola system is reinventing the way homeowners experience the outdoors.
I've been telling y'all about this Project 2025 stuff for a minute now, and now it's all playing out just as I described. Section 8 getting cut, food stamps getting cut. This ain't just something on the news. This is people we know, our families, getting hit. Folks out here trying to survive, and the little bit of help they was getting, gone. And you already know, when stuff like this goes down, we the ones who feel it first. Our communities always catch it the worst. I want to show you something, but before I do, just really think about where this is going. If they doing this now, imagine what's next. Pay attention, y'all, because this ain't fear-mongering, it's facts. And the sad part, this is just the beginning. Let's get into it.
No. She says we have 24 hours. I don't know, because Section 8 didn't pay this month or last month. You guys, my landlord just showed up to our house, our trailer, okay? And told me that we have 24 hours to move. 24 hours, not even 24 hours. She's giving me till 4 o'clock tomorrow to be out. Me and my 6 kids, because Section 8 didn't pay our rent this month. And then when she went to go look back, because they didn't pay this last month, she realized they haven't paid in 3 months. And you're just now telling me? Just now. She doesn't even have an eviction on paper. She's threatening to turn off the utilities if we're not gone by tomorrow. Where the hell am I going to go with 6 kids? Where? Because anywhere I go, I'm going to need first and last month's rent. And then she expects me to come up with almost $4,000 in back rent because Section 8 decided they weren't going to pay my rent. This is bullshit. What kind of rights do I have? She can't do this to us. Where are we going?
Y'all, please tell me y'all seen that lady on TikTok. The Caucasian lady talking about the food stamps, crying because the food stamp office cut. She got cut off of food stamps, $4,000 of food stamps, cut off her Section 8. Her Section 8, I think she was paying like $86 or something a month. She got like 6 or 7 kids. She gets Social Security. She get welfare. She gets everything. Y'all, she's on there crying because they cut her off of everything and they told her that she's going to have to get a job. Y'all, and that's not even the bad part. The bad part is like she's capably able, like she's able to work. Like, she's like, I can't work. And then she paused and she was like, well, I can work, but I don't want. What am I going to do? I told y'all before, and TikTok fact checked me and say I was lying about President Trump say he was going to stop the food stamps. What am I going to do? I told y'all they was going to stop Section 8. I told y'all they was going to stop Section 8 housing, food stamps. What am I going to do? I ain't going to have my Section 8. I ain't going to have my food stamps. What am I going to do, y'all? And TikTok fact checked me and said I was lying, and I told y'all they was going to cut the food stamps off. What am I going to do? I'm not going to have my food stamps. What am I going to do? I'm not going to be able to get my $0 I get a month in my food stamps. What am I going to do? I'm not going to be able to get my $0 that I get a month in food stamps. What am I going to do?
The government is cutting food stamps for some people. Oh, I know y'all mad about this. The handouts are coming to an end. So if you have no dependents, you're not getting food stamps in some counties. I don't know if this is the whole United States, but I know in Georgia they're cutting food stamps. Wow, about time. It is about time y'all start stepping up and snatching back food stamps from all these freeloaders. And trust me, there's plenty of people out there that have abused the hell out of the food stamp system. My goodness, it is about time that they are getting rid of food stamps, get rid of Section 8, get rid of EBT cards, get rid of child support, get rid of it all. All of it needs to go. It's about time we stop handing all these women all this free money. Send their ass to work.
Let me educate you dumb motherfuckers when it comes to Section 8. For a person that used to be on Section 8. Section 8 goes according to your income. So stop motherfuckers saying that these people's out here paying $2 a month, $80 a month. No, they not. If you are working and you are a full-time worker, Section 8 is taking 30% of your income. I know this because I used to be on Section 8. I was paying over $1,200 a month because of my income. You motherfuckers hit Section 8 and just swapping down. These mothers ain't got shit going for themselves. They paying $5 a month. Y'all don't know a motherfucking thing. And as far as people with food stamps, it's a lot of motherfucking people out here that's on food stamps that's working a full-time job. Why is y'all so worried about what the other people got going on? They're paying in their taxes too to receive them motherfucking food stamps. It is so many people on this internet hollering about, yeah, now they get their lazy ass up. Who the fuck said that they wasn't up already? Who the fuck said that they wasn't up? You motherfuckers get on here putting your 2 cents and shit and don't know a motherfucking thing.
Hey, if you can see.
Now she's right about that. That not everybody is home. That is true. But let me say this, because she brought up some good points. There's more people that is home that's working, that's not working. Okay, and so we look at the majority. The point is this. Okay, there's a lot of people that refuse to go to work. Okay, we're not talking about the people that's working. Like I said previous, if you're working and you're still coming up short, then you should get the benefits, whether it's Section 8, SNAP, or whatever. Okay, the issue is when people who refuse to go to work and they can go to work and don't want to go to work. Okay, that's where the problem is, and they get lumped in with everybody else, okay? Not only that, they get lumped in with people who can't work, okay? They really physically, mentally cannot go to work. The doctors have stated that they are not to work, okay? We're not talking about those people. We are talking about people who refuse to go to work, can work, and don't want to, okay? And there's millions of people that's on those benefits, and it takes away from people who really, really need it. Okay, so that's really the issue. It's a touchy subject. It's sad because it does affect families, and you hate it for the kids because the kids suffer in the process of all of this. They didn't ask for any of this, but in the process, like I said, they suffer because of it. Like I said, if you're able to, you should strive to do your best to not rely on the government for any help, any assistance. But if you are striving and you still come up short, that's one thing. But if you're just not wanting to try and you just want to be home and you just don't want to go to work. Like one lady said, I can't work. I just can't do it. Well, I can do it. I just don't want to. She told on herself, that's what I'm saying, the mentality. And the thing is some of the people who's receiving these benefits are bragging. They're, again, not coming from a place of humility or thankfulness. They're coming from a place of, look at me and look at you. You're working and you can't get the groceries that I can get and I'm not working. Okay, or my rent is, like she said she still paid $1,200 based on her income. Okay. Yeah, well, it may be in her case she is, but trust me, there's a lot of people that is paying $100, $80, $200, $500, and it really depends on the income. You know what I'm saying? So it's sad. You don't want to see people homeless and lose their stuff. You don't want to see people, not have anything for their kids. When it comes to food and because they're just trying to provide, but at the same time it messes it up for the people who really, really need the assistance. And that's what we really have to look at. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's move on, guys, to the last topic at hand. We're going to talk about Donald Trump's health because this has been highlighted for the last week, and I've been kind of listening in on a lot of stuff that they've been talking about. We're going to listen in on this segment. The press secretary is going to talk, Caroline Levitt. She's going to talk about the briefing as far as what they found out about his health. But we also have a young black lady. She's a doctor on the Don Lemon show, and she's going to talk about what she thinks he has because, sometimes when you listen to these speeches, they don't really go deep into it. So she's going to kind of break it down. And so let's just listen in, and then I'll let you know how I feel about what I think he may be suffering with.
I know that many in the media have been speculating about bruising on the president's hand and also swelling in the president's legs. So in the effort of transparency, the president wanted me to share a note from his physician with all of you today. In recent weeks, President Trump noted mild swelling in his lower legs. In keeping with routine medical care and out of an abundance of caution, this concern was thoroughly evaluated by the White House medical unit. The president underwent a comprehensive examination, including diagnostic vascular studies. Bilateral lower extremity venous Doppler ultrasounds were performed and revealed chronic venous insufficiency, a benign and common condition, particularly in individuals over the age of 70. Importantly, there was no evidence of deep vein thrombosis or arterial disease. Laboratory testing included a complete blood count, comprehensive metabolic panel, coagulation profile, D-dimer, B-type natriuretic peptide, and cardiac biomarkers. All results were within normal limits. An echocardiogram was also performed and confirmed normal cardiac structure and function. No signs of heart failure, renal impairment, or systemic illness were identified. Additionally, recent photos of the president have shown minor bruising on the back of his hand. This is consistent with minor soft tissue irritation from frequent handshaking and the use of aspirin, which is taken as part of a standard cardiovascular prevention regimen. This is a well-known and benign side effect of aspirin therapy. And the president remains in excellent health, which I think all of you witness on a daily basis here.
The first thing I would think would be congestive heart failure. And I know that they're saying that he doesn't have it, but let's just say, based on appearance, age, and likelihood, 6.7 million Americans have congestive heart failure. And when you have that, it can cause a backup of fluid and give you those swollen ankles, swollen legs like he has. If you have congestive heart failure, the treatment would be to give you a water pill, like a diuretic. Most average Americans will take pills by mouth, but if you're the president and you have access, you could take an IV water pill like Lasix. And what would you use? You would use your veins in your hands, okay? You would have IVs in your hands. Not saying that this is what he's done, but just telling you how my mind is working when I look at his hand. If indeed he is on aspirin or blood thinner and he's getting IVs, then that could explain this non-minor bruising. This is pretty significant bruising. But of course, that would help his swelling to go down. The other thing that could happen potentially, I don't know for him, I'm not his physician, I would suspect that if you're getting a lot of water pills through the IV, that could cause your kidneys to not work as well, which could also cause you to have a backup of fluid. I am a board-certified kidney doctor. I see this every day.
Notice his ankles are really, really swollen in this picture, in his shoes. So you can see that that's a lot of swelling, and his hands was really bruised. So anyway, let's keep going.
He looks pale. A lot of people don't know that as far as your kidneys, they're responsible in a lot of ways for keeping you from being anemic or having low blood. Your kidneys cause your bone marrow to make red blood cells. So if you had any of these situations, then that could cause you to have the pale skin, the swelling in the legs and the ankles, the bruising in the hand that's bad enough to need to have some type of a concealer. My issue is, Don, that in the past, he has not been honest about his health. He's had that one doctor from 2013 to 2018 saying he was the healthiest president ever in the history. He had another doctor prior to that who said he was the healthiest president ever elected. And then that doctor came back and admitted that Donald Trump actually dictated that note. And so he's already given us a history of not being able to trust what he says. So I don't care how many times they stand from the podium and say we're being transparent and they give us information. I'm still using my medical brain, and it's telling me that in this almost 80-year-old man, there's something else going on other than just really common, benign conditions. I don't trust it.
All right, this feels almost illegal to know.
Okay, so you heard it from her, and she's a medical doctor. You know, you saw his feet, which is really swollen around the ankles. You saw the bruising in his hands. And they're saying it's coming from handshaking, but I've never, I mean, to me, that's really excruciating bruising if you really look at the back of his hands, you know? So that's just very, very questionable. Okay, but anyway, let's keep going.
Oh, but our windows were so old and just desperately needed to be.
Okay, so let's look at, so this is, look how pale he is here. And I mean, and you can look at, and I don't believe these to be doctored photographs. That's a lot of bronzer or whatever it is. Now, let's talk about this. We're going to go through all of this. Can you just go back to the hands for me, Andy? Okay, let's look at the, doctor, when you look at this, and what did Caroline Levitt said, that this is aspirin or whatever? I know he's not your patient, but what would you say if you were to look at a patient that had this type of symptom? What would you say the issue is, and how would you, what would you recommend the treatment for them to be?
Okay, so what she was saying that he's on aspirin, which is a blood thinner, and yes, having a blood thinner is something that could cause some bruising. Typically not this much bruising. And so if I were his doctor and he's having this much bruising, I would say, what else could cause bruising? Liver issues. If you have liver failure, if you're on certain medications that are causing your liver enzymes to be up, if you have hepatitis, if you're taking certain cholesterol medicines, I would check his liver function test and find out why he's bruising so easily. Also, if I were his doctor, I might already know that he's on a high blood thinner. Now, I'm not saying it's about him specifically. I'm just talking about in general, if he were my patient. If he did have congestive heart failure, and if it were severe, then part of that management is a stronger blood thinner than just aspirin, a stronger blood thinner, which could cause a heavy bruising. And if you were my patient, then I would also know that if he's getting IVs in his hand, then maybe he needs to start switching them up and going to the other hand. This is not typical bruising. And if he's getting bruised like this from just a low dose aspirin, then there's still, I would suspect, an underlying problem.
Okay. And so you said that's not typical bruising from an aspirin. What about, it said from, they use the excuse that this is happening from handshakes, and I don't know why that would be happening from handshakes. So you'd think it would be on the other side.
Yeah, it's just not likely. And we already know that he's a germaphobe, so he doesn't love shaking hands. But for the longest time, taking a low dose aspirin, an 81 milligram aspirin, was the standard of care in people who were over 40 to prevent heart attacks. So that means he would not have been the first president taking a low dose aspirin. He's not the first president to shake a lot of hands. Why didn't we see this with President Obama, President Bush, President Clinton, you name it? It's not typical. No matter how much they say that it's normal, it's not. I believe that there's more. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a lot of stuff that just doesn't make any sense. I mean, handshaking, I mean, you just don't get bruised like that. That looked like he fell or he bumped or really hurt his hand. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's not making any sense. But we're going to keep following in on this because, like I said, swelling in the feet and legs, and now he's bruising really easily. That's not a good thing. But anyway, we're going to keep a focus on that just to make sure, everything is still okay. They're saying he's doing okay, but you remember when they talked about Biden's health, they were all over it like white on rice. Okay. And now when it's Trump, you see how they try to sugarcoat it and they make it seem like he's doing fine. there's nothing to worry about in XYZ. So anyway, we will still keep focusing on this as we speak. Okay? All right, guys. Well, anyway, we have made it to the end for tonight. Let's give it up. Yes, we'll be back on Thursday. Yes, at 8 p.m. We go Monday and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Sports and Politics with T. We get deep into the politic arena. And also, guys, thank you for just subscribing to my channel. Thank you to all my subscribers who have just given me all the support and is still, in it with me in the trenches, growing the channel. We are going to do more and more sports as well. Football is getting already started for the week. And we're going to start covering games again on Friday nights. That's right. I haven't forgotten about you guys because I got to get my videos back up and running on Fridays, which is the NFL season. Okay. All right, guys. So listen, if you enjoyed the content, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And also, if you can, please hit the notification bell. That way you won't miss any episodes every time I come on to YouTube. All right. We will be back 8 p.m. on Thursday. Again, give it up for tonight's show. And listen, I hope everybody enjoyed the rest of their Labor Day. I will see you again, everybody, on Thursday at 8 p.m. And also, check out my shorts. I am posting all the NFL scores on Tuesday. You can see from the previous week all the scores of the NFL games, okay? So watch that on my shorts on Tuesdays, okay? All right. All right, guys. So I'll see y'all 8 p.m. on Thursday. Everybody have a great rest of your week and enjoy the rest of your Labor Day. Take care. Bye-bye.